Tune in to www.radioharoldhill.co.uk.
Hello and good afternoon. You're welcome to Harrod Talk on Radio Harold Hill, www.radioharoldhill.co.uk, and you can also listen to us on the Radio Harold Hill app and also on the TuneIn app. My name is Oyin, and then thanks so much those of you that listened to the interview with Jane Herbert, the manager of My Place Center here in Harold Hill. Today, or right now, I've got with me three, like I said earlier on, three lovely people. Two ladies and gentlemen, and then one of the ladies has been bullying me in the studio. Can you imagine? You come into a man's office and you bully him. How do you explain that? I mean, I'm just gonna ignore her for now. I'm sure by the time the interview starts, you'll know who I'm talking about without even me saying anything. Yes. I'm here today with three people from an organization in London called Sickle Cell Cause. That's Sickle Cell Cause. And Sickle Cell Cause is a care, advocacy, unity, support, and empathy group for sickle cell in the UK, I believe. And I'm going to introduce you. Samantha, hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning, Ian. I'm not too bad.
Good. Do you want to move near your microphone, please? Okay, Samantha, we can hear you now. How are you?
Yeah, I'm a lot better today than I was a couple of days ago. So today is a blessed day. I feel well.
Okay, so can you introduce yourself to us, please?
Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Samantha Greaves. I'm a woman living with sickle cell. I live in Harold Hill. I've been here for the last 9 years. I love the community, and I feel very blessed to be welcomed onto your radio station to share my story.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Hello, Martha.
Hello.
How are you?
Why are you so calm speaking to me?
Because I have to be careful, you know. I don't want to be told off again. She's the bully. Hello, Martha.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon. Yes, Martha is an ex-clinical nurse specialist to North Middlesex Hospital. Can you tell us the meaning of that?
So, my name is Marha Muli. I've been working with sickle cell since 1999. I must say 96, but when I became a specialist nurse, it is 1999. So it means that I specialized in sickle cell and thalassemia, which are blood disorders inherited. Up to last month, that's when I retired.
Wow.
Funny enough, he didn't ask me my age, so I'm sure he's assumed how old I am.
Well, I'm not going to ask you your age. I mean, we live in a world where you can retire at 22, you know. It happens. So, and you look 28 to me.
Thank you. I won't give you part of my pension.
I was coming to that. I was going to come to that. We'll talk after the show. Curtis, can you please introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, my name is Curtis Stewart. Thank you, first of all, for having us on your show. It was a very welcome surprise. But I'm here with Samantha and Martha, representing Sickle Cell Cause. I must admit, I always heard the name sickle cell, but I didn't realise what it actually meant. I never saw the actual effects of it until I actually met Samantha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, let's delve into what we're here to do. I must apologize for the quality of the sound, please. I must apologize, but when we replay this, we would have edited it and boosted the sound. At the moment, my microphone is a clear rest. Samantha, tell us about when did you know you had sickle cell?
Well, I was diagnosed when I was about 5-6 years old. How that came about, I mean, I was always tired. My parents noticed that I was always tired and having pains, and stuff. But it was actually diagnosed when I was about 6 because me and my brother had an accident in the bedroom. In those days, we had, folding beds, for when aunts and uncles came round. Mm-hmm. And these folding beds weren't nothing that you blow up and then, nice and bouncy with memories, foam like they are today. It was like the hard springs with the headboard and that. And it flipped open while we was playing on it. So I ended up with bruised ribs, bruised kidneys, cracked ribs. My brother was halfway up the chimney, so we was in hospital, and that's when I was diagnosed with sickle cell, you know.
Martha, what is sickle cell?
Sickle cell, like I said earlier on, is an inherited blood disorder. So I would like to clear the myth of contracting. You don't contract sickle cell, you inherit. So it is a condition. Once you inherit it, it comes from the two parents being carriers of sickle cell. One could be AS and the other AS as well, or AS and AC. So once there is an S and the A missing in the genes of the hemoglobin, then that child will be called sickle cell patient, not carrier. The carrier has got an A, so it will be AS, AC.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I grew up in Nigeria, and many of my friends were AS. And now, I get confused with this. Blood type, genotype. Where does AE, SSS, AC, all those things come in?
Okay, so the blood type, you're talking of the AB and the OAB. There are
Okay.
only 3 blood types.
Okay.
That is not hemoglobin type.
Ah, okay.
That is the blood group. There's only OAB.
And to think
3.
I passed biology in
And
my
they're
O-levels.
outside. They're outside the red blood cell. Those genes are outside the red blood cell.
Okay.
The hemoglobin gene, which is what we are talking about, the ASC, there are more than 400 types of hemoglobin types.
Okay, and
They
that's
are in the gene itself of the
Okay.
hemoglobin.
okay.
So there's a difference. The OAB is outside the red blood cell.
Okay.
The genotype of the hemoglobin is inside.
Oh, thank you very much for clarifying that. Thank you so much. Yes. Many people, I'm still with you, Martha. I want us to lay the foundation of what this is, then we go to Samantha. Now, many people believe that sickle cell is only found in black people. Is this true?
That was what it was known at the beginning when research was at the foundation stage. But now we can say that it's no longer a black man's disease. It has gone to so much as 1 in 1,000 Caucasian can be sickle cell carrier.
Oh my.
1 in 1,000.
Well, that's far between, but that's still something. I mean, that one person is still an individual with a name, with a life. Oh.
I will tell you just a brief story.
Sorry, and is this a mutation?
No. No, it's not a mutation right there. It has been there. So in the beginning, it was a mutation. In the beginning,
Yes.
sickle cell is known as to be the mutation of the gene, the normal gene to the abnormal gene, thereby producing the disabled hemoglobin. I call it disabled, just for anyone to understand. So when it is disabled, it means it's no longer a shape that is normal.
Yes.
It is sickle-shaped.
Okay, hence
when
the name.
it
Okay.
loses oxygen. So I want to clear the myth again. The sickle cell person is not walking about with the majority of the cells always sickle-celled. They become sickle-celled when they have lost oxygen, or when they are demanding oxygen.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Why aren't you working in Africa where you're needed most?
I'm going.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my
Because
plan.
there is so much. I don't know much about the West Indies, but there is so much myth in Africa about sickle cell.
A lot. A lot. I've met it here where a mother told me after having 4 children with sickle cell, one after the other, she said to me, so they lied to me. They said I could have 3 children, but the 4th one is the one I could avoid. But when I saw that the first one was sickle cell, full-blown, second was full-blown, third was full-blown, I thought maybe the 4th one will be okay. How come I've ended up with 4 children? So it's not like you count the children. For every pregnancy that a couple at risk have, there is a chance that the baby can be sickle cell.
Wow. Wow.
In fact, should I just say 25% chances that the baby will be full-blown. That is when both parents are carriers of the unusual hemoglobin.
My third question, then I'll go over to Samantha. I'm coming to you, Curtis.
No worries.
Ladies first, isn't that the rule?
That's correct.
Yeah, let them have their. Yes. Now, how is sickle cell diagnosed?
Okay, is that to me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so before it was quite a myth. They used to test pregnant women by name. So, Owen, I'm sure your wife could have been tested because your name tells everyone that you are not from here and you are not white. That was in the early 70s.
You're talking of here in the
UK.
in the West.
Yeah, but what happened is the WHO now came to say that this was coming to be like a public health problem. So they started to say, no, just test every woman who comes in and
Because if
register
you
for
test me because
pregnancy.
my name is Oyen, what happens to Curtis?
Exactly.
It's not an English name.
And what happens to the Nigerians and the Ghanaians with English names?
You called Martha?
I've got a lot of friends. No, they were going by the surname.
Oh, the surname.
So
okay.
Martha Muli would have been tested.
Okay.
Samantha Greaves, no.
Okay.
And she wouldn't have been tested.
Yeah,
the lady.
Louisiana,
Yes.
yeah.
But I would be tested.
Okay.
Or if you married, let's say, Caucasian, and they had, because they are meeting the paperwork only.
So
they
if
are
I
not
married,
meeting.
if I married a Caucasian,
They would go.
and then because she's got an African son,
Yes.
they'll test her.
Yes, because they've not seen the person. That was years ago.
Okay.
But now it's no
I've
longer
heard
like
some
that.
bizarre things. This is bizarre.
It's no longer like that for the
Okay.
past, I think, 30 years. Like Havering and Enfield, where there were more than 15% of black people, they passed a rule that everyone should be tested.
Okay.
And those that are found to be carriers referred to the center where they can be counseled.
Okay.
So that's what has been happening.
So what's happening now?
What's happening now? Every woman who is pregnant in Haringey, I don't know about Harold Wood,
Havering.
Havering, I don't know.
Okay.
Because, but I know that there's one of the consultants who have been one of my mentors, Christine Williams,
Okay.
works somewhere here in Havering
Okay.
as a specialist nurse. So I don't know whether they can.
That's probably Queen's Hospital.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether they do the same, but I know it goes according to the number of people that the ethnic minority living in an area. But in Haringey, everybody who comes to North Middlesex Hospital, Barnet, Chestham, they are all tested for sickle cell and thalassemia, and then those that are found to be carriers are referred to George Marsh Center, which is a center for sickle cell.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Can I just say about the children?
Yes,
And
please.
every baby born in England is now tested for sickle cell. As part of the...
this is funny. Growing up in Nigeria, I never got tested. But then I'll tell you I'm AA. How did I know? Because my dad was tested, he was AA. He schooled in America. My mom was tested, she was AA. So automatically I thought I'm AA. But the point is I should have been tested anyway.
You should.
Oh,
They
okay.
test every baby, every baby. So I think we started from 2004. So it means those children born from 2004, by the time they are 20, they'll be aware because their parents have received the letters and they must be in the red books to hand over to the child to say this was your result when you were tested for sickle cell and thalassemia. Then there will be no accidents to say I didn't know, you knew. But for the sickle cell child who is born full blown, we get to know within 4 days of the baby. 4 days, within a month of the baby being born. So the centers will receive the results at least within 3 weeks, and we notify the parents straight after.
And you did not know, Samantha, until you were 6.
Yep, I was born in the 60s, so therefore this was way before all of this, and that's the reason why I'm such a campaigner for sickle cell, because I remember like in 2004 when we had the campaign, because I used to live in like Haringey and Enfield Borough before I moved up to Harold Hill, and we done a campaign, a big campaign, and that's what, when they, started testing every baby that was born, it's a pity that it's not countrywide. I'd like to see it up in this area as well. So that's the reason for sickle cell cause in Romford, covering, because there's a large African Caribbean community, and there's no education about it. I have to keep going to North London for treatment and for support. So that's the reason we're creating a support group in this area, because it's not just me with sickle cell. And I've been through a lot of issues whilst I've been up here, but there's no understanding in the housing departments, GPs are not aware. So, and I have to keep, informing them, and some people are not susceptible to being told, so I have to go outside to get support. So, so therefore, that's the reason for sickle cell cause being in Harold Hill and
That's
Romford.
interesting, because you would think that a place like London, there should be things in place everywhere you go to in London to answer every question, to meet everyone's needs.
It is in London, but we're not in London.
Yeah.
We're just out of
Essex.
London. We're in Essex.
Yeah, but it's still done.
And
We're in London, aren't we, Louisiana? We have a councillor here. He's one of our team who will tell you we are not in Essex. He's a councillor, local councillor.
Havering.
This is the London borough of Havering. But then, even that aside, the point is, if people live with this condition, can I call it a condition? If people live with this condition, they are real people. They've got real needs. Wherever they are in the UK, their needs should be met.
That's right. You think so. And that all the information should be shared and everybody should be made aware, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
what we've got to remember is, I moved here just coming on 9 years ago. When I first moved up to Harold Hill, there was hardly anybody, with me of black, origin, African or Caribbean. It's only the last, say, 2 years that there's been a great influx of African and Caribbean community. It's really grown. So with that, we're going to get more people with this condition. I mean, even Sickle Cell Awareness Day, which is in June, we've done a little campaign in the community. From the library, they let us use the library, and we walked around with Sam Gold. He's the Labour MP for Romford, and he came into the community with us. And we even went to the local hostel, homeless hostel.
Yes.
And they weren't receptive for us giving information, these flyers, and leaving them for the residents. Now, there's a lot of residents in there of black origin, and as Martha said, you don't have to be black to be having this disease or this illness, So this is information that people may want. But the woman at the door said no. She's not allowing this information out, and that is her ignorance, because she doesn't understand. She doesn't know what she's stopping, and that's the reason for the support group, to educate the community as to what it is, and that people do need the help and they do need the support.
Wow, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Let's move on. How did your diagnosis affect you? Your diagnosis, how did it affect you?
Well, it wasn't very good, because it didn't. First of all, when I first found out when I was that young, it didn't really affect me too much, because I didn't really understand. But as I used to keep going into hospital, I used to be admitted every 4 to 6 weeks. I was in hospital, admitted in crisis. And as I got older, you're more aware of your surroundings and what's going on. And because in those days, sickle cell was hardly known, so I'm one of the original guinea pigs for sickle cell, because they didn't know what drugs to use, they didn't know what to do, how to treat it.
You could have lost your life.
Of course.
You could have moved to Africa.
I've lost many friends, over the years through sickle cell. So, we laugh and we make jest, but it is a serious condition. People are losing lives daily, and it's because of a lack of information. So as I was saying, as I was growing up, because I was admitted so often, and then you get more aware, and people just, they don't think that you're a human being, you're like a number. And I was always part of university hospitals, so they was doing a lot of training, so I'd have all my bed covered with
Interns,
surrounded with it, pushing and poking and prodding and speaking like I'm not there. And that's how I knew that my life expectancy was 14 years, So I wasn't expected to live past 14 years,
And now you are...
Next week, Wednesday, Oyin, when you give me my present, I'll be 49 years old.
Louisiana, note that, please. You need to buy her a present, and I'll deliver it to her, but you buy it. Don't you just love that?
That's nice.
Delegation.
Make sure he buys. And you deliver.
Wow, wow. So growing up, how did this affect you at school?
Well, it did because I hardly, went to school. I had a lot of problems in school, like, for instance, like PE, physical education, right? That was one of those on the curriculum that you had to do. In those days, you had to do it. So they threw you outside, rain, sleet, snow. It didn't matter. You had to be running around. I couldn't cope with it. I used to love PE in the summer, but in the winter I couldn't cope with it. So I was forever being in trouble outside the headmaster's office. I took a lot of days off school because of pain. Sometimes I'm not in full crisis, but I'm at home because I can't manage to get out of bed and go to school. They didn't believe that, there's a problem. Spent a lot of time in hospital. So my education was fragmented. I didn't finish school. For me, there was just no point. I gave up. Furthermore, I wasn't expected to live past 14. So the fact is, after living past that, my mindset at the time was, I'm living on borrowed time. So time to partay, live it up,
Wow.
Yeah. So as I said, mine was 14. I've got many friends whose life expectancy was like 8, 11. Some of them are still with us, some of them are not. So, but now the drugs and the information that we have nowadays, has helped. So even though I was a guinea pig and I didn't like being prodded and poked, and I've had many operations because of all the different drugs that's been used on me, but at least I think there's more information now. There's more ways of treating, because you can't get rid of it, but at least there's ways of treating it. And now I've lived to my 49th year, so...
And you've got kids?
No, I don't have kids. I have children.
You've got children,
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've got 3 children,
What's
so
the
I've been
difference in
blessed.
both?
Well, the kid is a baby goat, is it?
Oh, okay. You're one of them. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Now you've been tricky. Oh, come on. You've got children.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to come to that. Now, you kept mentioning the word crisis. Can you explain what that is?
Okay, a crisis is like, for instance, I woke up this morning in pain, right? So I've taken tramadol, is a very strong painkiller, so that I can actually be here today, right? So that could be considered a mini crisis because it's like exceptional pain, But a full crisis is when I cannot move and I have to be taken into hospital. I get severe pains in certain part of my body, and this is when all the because as Martha said, the blood cells are in the shape of a sickle.
Yes.
Right, so that can cause, they clump up and they cause blockages in the veins. So wherever that blockage is where the most extreme pain is, and it's got to be, has to be addressed in the hospital. So it could be dangerous because if I was to have one of those in my head, for instance, then I'm a goner.
You live with this every day?
Well, yeah, yeah, no days off. Yeah.
Well, Martha, what causes the pain? I mean, she said something about it.
So the crisis can come about due to any stress, outside or inside. That's the way I put it. So the stress outside would be you stressing me, like the way you started stressing me. If I was a sickle cell person, I could do it.
Okay. Thank you. Curtis.
Okay. What I've also found is that the weather also plays a very big part as well, because one day it's sun shining, and Samantha is able to cope. She's walking around normal, and then suddenly the rain. Her body, I must admit, is a very accurate weather predictor, because as soon as it turns cloudy and it turns rain and it's raining and that and gets cold, you can see the symptoms of the sickle cell taking effect on her.
Do you want to be our weather lady here? Does she want to be our weather lady and radio on you?
How much you paying?
I love this lady. Louisiana, you need to employ her. Yes.
Yeah, because one of the ways, the way I really got introduced to it, the first thing was when I was having my child. I got tested by the hospital, so that's one of the good advancements, as Martha was saying, that everybody starts to get tested. But so I found out that I didn't have the trait, but my wife had the trait. So my son was born and he was fine. And because he was fine, naturally, you just don't think anything more of it.
Mm-hmm.
But until I met Samantha, and then I actually, one day she was fine, we was going to an event, and then the next day, she just changed as if she was like a 90-year-old woman, in so much pain, every single step she was taking. And that's when I really started to look more closely at sickle cell, and I decided I wanted to actually become part of that, because I found out that sickle cell is one of the least funded of the actual organisations or the illnesses that's going around. So I thought I'd devote my time towards that.
And is anyone at the governmental level doing anything about this, funding it, raising awareness? Martha?
Like I said, the whole project in 2004, actually, I know there was an estimate of 50 million infused in sickle cell awareness as well as testing.
Okay.
Because I think the government had it at heart to say, at least if the next generation are aware of this condition, then, that is a way of trying to minimize the numbers of people who will be born with sickle cell. Because at least you will know, I'm a carrier and a carrier, we could have children. So there will be informed choice.
Yeah, because back in Africa, I mean, I'm so grateful for your life, Samantha. I'm so grateful.
So
Back in
am I.
Africa, back in Africa, if I have a girlfriend, one of the first things, once I get serious with her, one of the first things we would ask ourselves is, are you AS or SS? And then if we discover that we are both AS, we can't get married. So we become good friends. But it will be sad, but then, I mean, the first 1 year of your relationship, you're asking yourselves, because we know the severity of sickle cell. Yeah, and I'm surprised that in this civilized country, you don't have much of that.
Because they know what love is. There's so much infatuation, which is called love.
Oh.
If for me, honestly, this makes most of the parents hate me. But I am not going to stop an AS loving an AS.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop.
No, you
because
can't.
the first thing that comes is love.
Yes.
And
But at
that's
least-
why they have to know themselves to make the decision.
Ah.
But not the parents to say, an AS, in fact, don't even bring her here. You know you are AS. I can't do that. And most mothers have gotten upset with me. Say, no, you should advise them not to. What I will do is to give them the pros and cons of the condition.
Okay.
And from there, they make informed choice.
Let's come back to you, Samantha. Now, you've spoken about how it affected you in school, and we were on crisis before I went to Martha and then to Curtis. So go on about the crisis. What are the symptoms? What do you feel?
Pain, extreme pain. It could be anywhere in my body. It could be the whole of my body, but it's just physical pain. I can't breathe. It's like get chest palpitations. It's like I'm having a heart attack. But it's the extreme pain. That's the main thing. It's just you can't cope, and it's like somebody's just forever hammering with a sharp, chisel, constantly, and it's non-stop. And this can last anything from like a day and overnight to up for weeks, sometimes months, but it depends on the actual individual, For me personally, I don't have as many attacks as I used to, where I'm hospitalized. I mean, I feel the pain every day, but I'm better able to manage it. I think that comes with like experience, but also because I'm also aware of diet, and diet can help, with anything and everything. If you're eating a clean diet, and your body is better able to fight infection.
Your
and
immune
sickle.
system.
Yeah, I built up my immune system.
Okay.
Yeah. So that actually helps. It doesn't get rid of it. I still feel pain, but I'm not admitted and don't have to be reliant on so many prescription drugs as I once used to be.
Okay. I'm going to come to you, Martha.
Yeah.
Now, diets. Can you say something about that?
I think, like Samantha said, diet is just important, paramount in everything that we do. Once your body is well fortified, it can fight a lot of things. Like I said, the causes of crisis in sickle cell could be outside or inside. Outside, like Curtis mentioned, the weather or stresses of of life can just cause you to. Every time we are stressed, whether it's mentally, that part of the body, the brain, thinking, demands oxygen so that it can focus.
Oh.
So once you demand that oxygen, it means you are depriving some cells with oxygen. So they'll go and tell and say, let's rush to the lungs to get oxygen so that this person, we can give her more oxygen to think, to do things. Or inside, the infection. If there's an infection, if there is anything happening inside the body which is not right, it will demand oxygen. But if you are well fortified, like the way Samantha is putting it, diet will help to, let's say, rebuild those cells that have gone into crisis to bounce back to normal. Once you drink a lot, I'm called a drinking nurse. They need to drink. That's why Samantha is always with a bottle. Everywhere you meet Samantha, she's got a bottle.
Bottle of water.
Oh, yes. I meant wine.
I wondered what that clear liquid was.
I meant a bottle of wine. Don't no, a bottle of water.
Now I know what to get you for your birthday.
A bottle of water, a case of water, please, will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that's a crisis. Can I just explain a little bit about crisis?
Please,
so
go
what
on,
is
go on.
happening is the all these stresses outside or inward, they cause the body to want more oxygen. What carries oxygen is the red blood cell, and it is the red blood cell which is defective in sickle cell. So I always say it's like a disabled person giving her things to carry on the head.
Oh.
They will not walk as fast as the person. So these cells clog up, they cling to the walls of the vessels, blood vessels, and one after the other, piling up, blocking the passage of oxygen or blood to the other part of the body. That part of the body will cry by being in pain. The patients have told me, the men have said, the pain that they experience is more than the waist toothache. Samantha herself will tell you that
The pain is
more than the waist toothache. That's how the men have described. The women like Samantha, and Samantha herself has said so, they would rather be in labor forever than having a crisis. So which means labor pains are less painful than a crisis. Now, if this doesn't cause you to be so passionate about sickle cell, then I don't know. Then Samantha talked about pain. There are two types of pain, chronic and acute. The acute crisis is the one Samantha described as one needing you to go to hospital and get admitted. The chronic one is the one that comes because each time they go into crisis, there are some body parts that are getting affected. They get necrotic, they die. So they live in chronic pain, which they just live with every day, every night. They are in pain. That chronic pain due to damaged parts of the body, like in the hip, in the knees, anywhere where they have had a crisis and death has occurred in that tissue. So that is what causes the chronic pain.
Wow. Samantha, let's talk about your children. You've got 3 children.
Yeah.
You've not got kids, according to you. Thank you very much. Hello. Are they affected by...
All 3 of my children are carriers, so they don't have the full-blown, because my ex-husband didn't have anything. He didn't carry any sickle cell gene.
Okay. Okay. And how are they able to cope with you being a carrier? Sorry, being is not a carrier. What's the word again?
Full blood.
Full blown.
Yeah. Well, they're very supportive.
Okay.
You know, I mean, my children are old now. Well, older, not old.
Are you also a grandma?
I'm a grandmother. Yeah.
You're a grandmother.
I've got a grandson and a granddaughter on the way. She'll be here with us in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
you.
and they told me 14, so you know, God is good. You know.
Oh. Okay, we're gonna go on a short break, and I'm gonna play a song, and we're dedicating this song to Samantha. It's gonna be her birthday on the 22nd of July. If you want to support sickle cell cause, Samantha's birthday is a good day for you to support, to show some support Don't buy her water. That's for me to do. Don't buy her. Yeah, you can get a card, max £10 card or so. But please make sure you donate some money to Sickle Cell Course, Barclays Bank. The sort code is 204657. The account number is 034841114. Again, Barclays Bank, Sickle Cell Course, CAUSA, sort code 204657. Account number 034841114. And we're dedicating this song to Samantha and to everyone there suffering from sickle cell. This is just the way you are. We're telling them no matter how you are, we love you.
Like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that she don't see what I see. But every time she asks me, do I look okay? I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing. Kiss them all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates but I think it's so sexy. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Oh, you know I'd never ask you to change. If perfect's what you're searching for, then just stay the same. So don't even bother asking if you look okay. You know I'll say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are, the way you are, the way you are. Girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. Yeah.
Welcome back to Harold Talk on Radio Harold Hill, www.radioharoldhill.co.uk. You can also listen to us on the Radio Harold Hill app on Android and iTunes and BlackBerry. And if you're using Windows Phone, we haven't got an app for Windows Phone, but on your Windows Phone, I'm sure you've got the TuneIn Radio app, and you can listen to us on TuneIn. So one more time, Radio Harold Hill, www.radioharoldhill.co.uk, and our app is on Android and iTunes and BlackBerry, and on the Windows Phone you can get us on the TuneIn app. One more time, I've got here with me today personnel from Sickle Cell Course. Sickle Cell Course is a care, advocacy, unity, support and empathy group for sickle cell sufferers in the UK. And I've got Samantha, and I've got the lovely Samantha, I've got the gentle Curtis, and I've got Martha.
Very cruel.
Well, sorry, Mom.
Mother abuse.
Mother abuse, not child abuse. You see, only Martha would say that. Okay, please don't go far from your microphone. Yes, Curtis, yeah, you were saying something, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on that last part, we actually made reference to the bank account.
Yes.
I'd just like to let you know that the actual name of the bank account is Healthy Living International.
Healthy Living International.
That's right.
Okay.
And then put the reference as Sickle Cell Cause.
Oh, one more time, if you want to support, the name of the bank account is Healthy Living International. The Barclays Bank sort 204657, account 03464114, and then reference Sickle Cell.
Sickle, that's right.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to have this on our website. Yeah. By the end of today, the information will be on the news segment of our website in case anybody wants to support.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Martha did not say thank you, but you're welcome.
Thank you. I was thinking about the Health Living International thing.
Okay, you're welcome anyway. Yeah, Martha and I have got a case to settle after this show. Yes, let's go back to you, Samantha. Oh, Martha, Samantha. Interesting. Samantha, you've been under the care of the NHS since your childhood.
Yeah.
How would you describe the care you've received over the years in hospitals in the UK?
Well, I have to admit, I've seen many changes, many changes with the National Health Service. I mean, it used to be, although in pain, once you start to feel better, it was a pleasurable experience being in hospital, what with the Lucozade and the many hot meals and, matron, but I've seen many changes, and I try my best not to go into hospital, because I don't really look at hospital now as a place of, it's basically a place of receiving treatment and then get out. It's not a place where don't go in there expecting care. They don't have the money, they don't have the time, they're overworked. I think that, the staff do a wonderful job, but under the circumstances, made very difficult for them, and if you're ill, you want to be, you want to feel like, you belong, but I feel on a personal level, I just feel that hospital is there for me to get treated and to come out, and I try my best not to need treatment, so that's why I try to stay as healthy as possible so that I'm not admitted into hospital. I love the hospital staff. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the medical profession and all that, but as I said, being a guinea pig, I've been through a lot. I don't want no more, so I try my hardest not to be in that environment.
Wow. Well, Martha, now, can you explain the connection of a person with sickle cell and malaria?
This is quite a myth that has gone round. I remember one patient arguing with me that I can go to Africa, I'm SS, and I will not suffer from malaria. And I said, you will suffer and die with it. Because malaria, the myth, the belief that has been around, and it's still around, is that the mutation of these genes occurred as a way forward to protection against malaria.
I read that 2 days ago, actually.
I thought that was true.
Yeah. And the protection occurs, actually. That is why we've got so many carriers of sickle cell than sufferers.
Mm-hmm.
They are carriers, and it's a condition that if you want to eradicate it, it will be very difficult.
Sorry.
Because carriers are healthy.
Go on, please.
Carriers are healthy.
Oh.
They don't suffer from anything. That's why it was called trait. You know what a traitor is?
Yes.
It's a trait. So if you meet another trait, that's when you produce a sufferer.
I remember when I was
Now-
in Nigeria, like I said, I'm AA.
Yes,
I used to suffer from malaria a lot.
that's it.
As in, if you ask me now, Oyin, go to Nigeria, the first thing that'll come to my mind is, oh my God, not malaria, not again.
Okay, so what it is the carrier, AS, will not suffer from the time they are small babies up to maybe the age of 5. They are fine. They can overcome malaria without. It comes in the house. You know how it comes.
Oh yes.
You are sick. Your dad is sick. Everyone will be sick, but a carrier baby will be okay. The belief is that the S, because this is like a person with one engine, which is A. A only refers to adult hemoglobin or normal hemoglobin, and they carry another engine, which is S. So because of that, they've got some small amount of sickling cells. It is believed that the malaria parasite has got an affinity, or it loves oxygen, a lot of oxygen. But because this person has got only one engine, it means the oxygen is not as much, so they don't survive as long as causing the condition. That is what I read in one place, and another clinician explained to me, and this is what happened. So I've got a son who is a carrier. I didn't know. Sam was around when I discovered in 2004. He's 36 now, my third born. 36 in December. I didn't know that my late husband was a carrier of sickle cell. So this son of mine, during awareness week, like July now, I pushed him to go get tested, just get tested like everybody's doing. And the results came 2 weeks later. I checked. It was on my computer, I think, for 2 weeks. And then I just said, let me just check David's result. And I found it was AS. It made me think back. You remember, I cried. As a specialist nurse, it's so foolish. My consultant laughed at me to say, you dealt with it so badly. I called my son, you know your AS, you know your AS. Well, by the time I got home, the poor 20-something-year-old child had a cold sore. Mom, am I going to die?
It's just a cold sore.
No, he developed a cold sore.
Yeah.
Because stress. He thought, So I handled it badly. But what it is I looked back. While in Zambia, this child never suffered from malaria once. I asked him, do you remember suffering from malaria? He said, no, Mama, I don't even know how it feels like. He goes to Zambia and back without even whatever. I say, no. Now you have to take precaution. You have acclimatized here. Please, this is the advice to all sickle cell carriers out there. Don't go blindly and say we cannot suffer from sickle cell when you go to an area which is endemic of malaria. You will suffer, and it will attack you badly. You have acclimatized to this place. So you will suffer. As for the sufferers, you have never been protected. You have never been protected. In fact, one of the leading causes of death in Africa in children with sickle cell, like my country, Zambia, is malaria. So for all full-blown sickle cell sufferers, you've never been protected. Whatever you have believed, it's a lie. You can suffer from it, and it can kill you quicker than anyone. You can suffer from it. AS, you can suffer from it as well. We say they are just protected up to a certain age.
To a certain age, okay.
Yes.
You were going to say something, Curtis?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's it.
Thank you. Now, I've asked you what can trigger sickle cell crisis. Let's go back to you, Samantha. I told you, you have to have name tags because I don't remember these things. So I know you, Samantha. I know Curtis.
I don't care.
Now, Samantha, you've spoken about how the sickle cell condition is not recognized as an illness in the UK. What experiences have you had for you to have made this statement that it's not seen as an illness?
Right. So, like for instance, I've always been an advocate for sickle cell since 1997. And that's basically really because I couldn't really keep a job, so done a lot of voluntary work, and in different areas, it's not recognised as an illness. It's like, for instance, myself personally, I've had a lot of problems with with housing. You know, the damp, you know, is an issue. I can't have damp, right? That causes sickle cell crisis. You know, and plus, you know, severe chest pains. You know, pneumonia. I can't be too high up because the oxygen levels higher up is, you know, lower, so I'm not getting enough oxygen. Right, I can't be in flats, you know, because I can't manage the stairs if my legs are swollen, if my joints are swollen, I can't manage the stairs, you know. But it's not recognised in the housing. They say, no, they'll put you on a 22nd floor, you know, in damp conditions and say, well, you should be grateful that you've got, you know, this can kill us. You know, so for me, it's not recognised as an illness. I've been through it where I've been told, you know, that it's not an illness, get over it. And furthermore, how did you contract that? Like,
What?
Yep, in the housing. In the council, yes. You know, I've had many experience of, you know, with housing issues. In the workplace, I've done many jobs in my life, but I've had to leave you know, sometimes I've been sacked, sometimes I just don't bother to go back because I can be well one day, and then during the night I'm in crisis, right? For me to go back to work, though, you was fine the day before, so we don't believe you. You know, so could never keep a job. You know, so I've always had to do like voluntary work in the Red Cross shops and things like that until myself and my daughter started up our first organisation where we actually do a lot of advocacy for sickle cell, raise awareness, you know, and funds because there's no funds in it. And for us to be recognised that we need the help and we need the support and we need people to recognise that this is a serious thing, we need funding to be able to do this. And it's plus that things like nutrition. If people with sickle cell are more aware of their eating habits and how they can, you know, better help themselves, they don't need to be going into hospital so often. You know, they're better able to manage it at home. You know,
What do you eat?
I try to stay clear of dairy, meat, you know, like so blood products, you know, dairy, extra fatty foods. We do a lot of presentations, health presentations. You know, where we go to people's homes that ask us and we do a health presentation where we present them with a 3-course meal, you know. And that's a way of showing how you can reduce oils and fats and starches from your diet that stick to your blood cells, causing blockages, you know, and carrying too much weight is another thing, you know. So you may be very slim in body, but you can have a lot of fat around your heart, you know, and that can cause a lot of problems. So unless you're aware of what you're putting in your body, you know, a lot of people drop down dead because they're clinically obese, but they're very thin because the fat is on the inside, you know. So, you know, being aware of things like that. But I tend to stay more to like a more green diet, do a lot of juicing, you know, a lot of cabbage, spinach, callaloo, you know, okra, you know, yams, you know, foods like that. Stay clear of processed foods, it's just poison.
Oh,
you know, yeah. And stay clear of white foods, sugar, rice, bread. They've been processed. There's no nutrition in it. It's just killing you. So, and it's like glue, you know, making your blood cells stick. So,
What do you have to say to that, Martha?
oops.
I just agree that diet is quite important, but I also want to say some patients have said, and I've read doctors advising patients to eat some meat.
Okay.
Yes, but it's just a balance.
Okay.
You see, I want to hear the word balanced diet come back into the...
Oh, yes.
You know, I haven't heard it. We talk about dieting, but I could diet to get fat, and I could diet to lose weight. We just want to say balanced diet.
I remember that
Lifestyle.
word from
Yes,
bad.
Healthy lifestyle is what we promote.
I was going to say that a lot of the drugs and that, my understanding is that they're actually based off of our foods in the first place, and they're trying to mimic the effects of our foods. So it seems to me it makes sense that we look at what we're eating, because after all, the body is actually looking for the nutrients and vitamins from our food so it can do its functions, and one of the functions is to repair itself. But we've got to give it the right fuel.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, we've got 5 more minutes.
Wow.
Oh, I don't want Martha to go.
That's it, Joe.
Can I just add something? I
Please.
just want to say, because we've sickle cell calls, like we go around like the UK. We've helped Havering set up with their support group, helped Enfield, you know, and they're set up and functioning. And now we're in Romford, and I think there's a very great need for a support group in Romford, because there's nothing in this community to help people with sickle cell. So I just would like to say, if I can just give out the number, so if anybody's
Please.
out there, that knows anybody or, silently suffering, the number is 07951 829 025. And the other number, which is direct to the sickle cell cause, is 07508 908 549. And
Okay.
we're looking to take what we do is help people with if they need any consultancy, to just want someone to speak to, over a cup of coffee, so that they know that whatever they're going to say is confidential, just so that we can empathise, because it's pointless speaking to people that don't understand, and plus we have people within the our group that can help, like if you need help with benefits, because a lot of people are not getting the benefits
I was
that
going
they're
to ask
entitled to.
incapacity benefits.
Yeah, well, it's disability living allowance. A lot of sickle cell patients are actually entitled to disability living allowance and to the carers component of it, because they do need care. We do need care. It's like my children are my carers. They need to help me. Sometimes I can't move. So without my children, I would have to employ somebody else to do that role. And there is an entitlement. Different severities of sickle cell, you're entitled to these things, and people don't know what they're entitled to. They can be living in housing conditions that's making their illness worse. So they may need help with letter writing, and someone to speak on their behalf. So it's not just a case of sit down and moan about it. We actually do something and help people with the condition and people that help those with the condition.
And you do advocacy.
That's right.
Do you liaise with health bodies? Health Watch, for example?
Yes. Health Watch Enfield and Haringey. So we've just moved to Romford now. So we're looking for Health Watch in Havering.
Yeah, we've interviewed Health Watch Havering, I think, twice here.
Okay.
So I'll do that after. I'll give you the number. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Wow. I've done so many interviews. I think this is the one I've enjoyed most.
Oh, wow.
Well, one of the ones I've enjoyed most. You don't get to see Martha every day. Or Samantha or Curtis. Wow. Thank you so much. Do you do events? Do you put up events?
We do. The last event we had was in Sam Gould's office. He's a Labour MP for Romford, and he's given us his office for us to use as and when we need. So, so we can meet people now, and have like coffee mornings or, one-to-one conversations. But we had a meeting last Thursday that went phenomenally well, so we will be promoting, the next one. Actually, we don't have a date set as yet, but I will let you know for the future, and it will be within the next 4 weeks,
Okay.
and it will be in Sam's office in Romford. Near the station, yeah.
That's the
Saffron House.
Saffron, is that the London Labour?
Yes. Yeah.
We're not campaigning for any party here, please. It's just okay.
South Street.
South Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for coming. It's been Harold Talk today, and I've had with me Samantha, Martha, and Curtis from Sickle Cell Cause. It's been highly educating, and yes. What more should I say, Louisiana? You don't know. It's been overwhelming. One more time, I'll give you the details to contact Sickle Cell Cause if you want to talk to them about anything. You're a sickle cell sufferer or carrier, or you just want to know much about what they do. The number to call is 0795 182 9025 and 0750 890 8549. The email address is sicklecellcourse@gmail.com. I'll spell that. Sickle is SICKLE. Cell, I'll say that again. Sickle is SICKLE. Then CELLCAUSE @gmail.com. And you can find the information on our website on www.radioharoldhill.co.uk. It will be there within the next hour or so. Thank you so much for listening, and please stay tuned for our other shows on Radio Harold Hill. And I'm going to leave you with a song from Zangi, And this is called Lost. Can anybody hear me? Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's been toiling under the scorching sun. She has no food and she has a place to call her home. Every night she cries, Father, why? She needs you and me. Oh, come, let's join B City. Deep inside, I know she's hurting. Look close in her eyes, you will see she's been crying. Let's intervene and give her a chance to live her dreams. Let's intervene. Oh, come, let's join B City. Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody wanna put a smile on her face? Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody wanna put an end to all this? He's nearly 15, but he can barely write his name. Can understand why he's different from all his friends. The clock is ticking and the little hope is almost gone. Let's intervene. Oh, come, let's join B City. Mama has left him, Daddy has left him, he's on his own. They treat him like an outcast, they've labeled him a weed. It's hard for him cause he doesn't know who to blame. Let's intervene. Oh, oh, oh. Come, let's join B City. Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody wanna put a smile on his face? Can anybody hear me? Is there anybody wanna put an end to all this? We can make them smile if we all unite, make the future bright. It's your child and mine. We can make them smile if we all unite, make the future bright.